Jerry Diamond, How to Get Out of Babylon. Reading Chapter 3 of Magic Bicycle Series, Book 2, The Toy Campaign. Give people a couple minutes to get on. If I see one or two, I'll start reading now. I'll just talk for a couple minutes, maybe. Attend on Tony's coffee shop and have some coffee. Okay. All right. Chapter 3, The Cobra Club Listens In. Back in the alley behind the toy store, the abandoned Spirit Flyer bicycles had been discovered. A gang of boys rocked back and forth on 10-speed bikes, talking about their find. Right below the handlebars on each bike was a picture of a cobra ready to strike. There were 7 boys, but only 6 bicycles. The biggest boy was on foot. "What do you think we should do, Barry?" Doug Barnes asked the boy without a bike. "I am thinking," Barry Smedlow said. He looked at the 2 Spirit Flyers closely. I thought there was only one of those ugly old bikes." "I think there's more than that," Alvin said. "I saw all of the Kramers out riding one evening a few weeks ago. Even Sheriff Kramer had one." "But what difference does that make?" "I'm not sure," Barry replied. "Why don't you take one until you get new tires for your bike?" Alvin asked. Barry shook his head quickly. "I wouldn't be caught dead on one of those fat, ugly bikes," Barry said and grunted. "Yeah," Robert said, laughing. The other boys laughed too, except Barry. "But they belong to Susan and John Kramer. Aren't they enemies of the club?" Doug asked. "We need to do something." Barry made a fist and nodded. He had a long-standing grudge against the Kramer kids. When Barry formed the Cobra Club right after Christmas, John Kramer was the first person that Barry had asked to join. But John had refused, knowing that Barry would just boss everyone around. John even kidded the club members, calling them the Dead Man's Club, because they sometimes wore black pants and black jackets with the emblem of a cobra's head on the back. There are some advantages to being in the Cobra Club. Barry's parents wanted him to have lots of friends, so they tended to give him whatever he wanted for the club meetings. And when the club members occasionally caused trouble, Barry was a master at keeping them from getting caught, even when he had tried to steal John's Spirit Flyer. But Barry had found out the hard way that stealing a magic bicycle like the Spirit Flyer wasn't easy. The whole plan had backfired and been like a nightmare to him. He knew the old bikes had some kind of mysterious power, but he didn't know how they worked. So this time, as he looked at the 2 red bikes, he was determined to be more careful. "What do you want to do if you don't want to take them?" Doug asked. "We need to do something since the Kramer kids are official enemies of the club," Barry said. Then he looked up and down the alley. Drawing of the situation. This may be some kind of trick to get us in trouble. I mean, why would they leave their bikes here? Our clubhouse is just down the alley. Maybe they were spying on us. But they don't know that's our clubhouse," Freddie said. The clubhouse was an abandoned wooden shed behind the hardware store. And none of us went in while you were on vacation. That would have been broken the oath. The other boys nodded seriously, remembering the night they had joined the club. Each of them had dripped a drop of their own blood into the flame of a candle and sworn to many secrets. An awful punishment awaited for anyone who broke the oath. "What should we do with the bikes, though?" Doug asked. Barry looked at the trash bin and then smiled. "What does anyone do with trash?" Barry said. "You throw it away." Barry patted the side of the garbage container. The other boys began grinning and looking at the trash bin. "In fact, maybe they left these bikes here to be hauled off by the garbage collectors," Barry said. "Anyone would think they looked like trash. Maybe we should just help the garbage man out. As trash are a nuisance. Someone might trip over and fall over these bicycles. Or they might get run over by a car. That would be so sad." The other boys howled with laughter and grinned like goons. "Let's dump them in the trash bin," Doug said. "Yeah," Robert said. "That's trash for the junk pile." "Wait," Doug said. "I see someone coming way down the alley. See?" Doug pointed. Barry looked. 2 children were walking toward them. "I bet that's the Kramers," Barry said, squinting quick into the clubhouse. "They won't see us if we go in the back entrance. Maybe we can find out what's going on." The boys moved quickly to the side of the alley. By the time Susan and John arrived, the Cobra Club was safely hidden back in the clubhouse. Susan and John hadn't seen the boys go into the old shed, though they had seen them running away. I don't think they did anything, John said as he ran up to his spirit flyer. He bent down to examine the old red bike carefully. We must have scared them off. It doesn't take much to scare those boys, Susan said, checking out her bicycle. They're only brave if it's 7 against 1. Yeah, John said, but it's really you that they're afraid of. Susan smiled. John seemed to be acting like himself again, at least for a while. Susan had run after him all the way down the dump road. John had finally stopped when he got to Sleepy Eye River. He had waited for her at the bridge, yet refused to talk about his behavior at the dump as they walked back into town on Croft Road. Susan felt quite certain that their journey through the Black Window was somehow connected to the time John disappeared 3 weeks before. Yet the more Susan had questioned him, the more stubborn John had seemed in his silence. Susan had finally given up trying to, though she was quite frustrated deep inside about the morning's unusual adventure. Now John's face was serious. He climbed up the side of the trash bin and carefully looked over the edge. "There's nothing but trash," he sounded relieved. The boy felt around his neck for a moment. When he saw Susan looking at him, he quickly stopped. "The Black Window thing is gone. Everything seems back to normal." "What's normal?" Susan asked. She climbed up beside John and looked in the trash bin too. "That's what I'd like to know," John replied. "I think we should tell Dad," Susan said. Both children hopped down. "Tell him what?" John said. "There's nothing to show him here. The window's gone. The one out at the dump might still be there. But since we didn't really get hurt or anything, I don't think we should tell. Not unless we find something definite. You know how he is. He didn't believe me the first time I told him about my spirit flyer. Why should he believe this?" "That was before we all got spirit flyers," Susan said. "He might believe us now. He knows they're different and that deeper things can happen." "Yeah, but he doesn't like it very much," John said. "He hardly ever rides a spirit flyer, not even around town like a regular bike." "I don't think Dad's gotten used to the idea," Susan said. "Some people just don't change very fast. Besides, you haven't ridden your spirit flyer much in these last few weeks either." "Well, I have my reason," John said and frowned. He looked at the trash bin and once more felt at his neck. This time he didn't seem to notice that Susan was watching. John picked up his heavy red bicycle and leaned it against his leg and looked it over carefully. "At least burying the Dead Man's Club didn't do any damage," John said. "I didn't know he was back in town. I was hoping he'd stay away on vacation all summer." "And all fall," Susan added and laughed. Then her face got serious. "At the dump you said something about keeping the toys. What did you mean? Did you see some toys at the dump?" "Did you see them too?" John asked mysteriously. Then he frowned. "They belong to me, every one of them. I made a..." Then the boy went silent, as if something had said too much. Before Susan could ask another question, John hopped on his bicycle and rode down the alley. "Wait up," Susan called and pedaled after her cousin. "We need to go mow lawns." When they were sure John and Susan had gone, the Cobra Cub filed out of the old wooden shed. Barry beat his fist into the palm of his hand. "We need to do something about John Kramer and that brat sister. I mean soon." Barry said, his face tight with fury. "Dead Man's Club. Ah, we'll fix them both." "But how?" Doug asked. "And what do you suppose they were talking about? A Black Window thing in the dump?" "Yeah," Alvin added. "They said something about toys at the dump." He was acting funny, like it was a big secret. The bigger boy's eyes brightened. He began to grin. "Maybe so," Barry said, "but if they're looking for toys, they won't keep them, because we'll be right behind them all the way." Ever since John Kramer got that junky old bicycle, strange things have been going on, and now his old dopey family has spirit flyers. "Yeah," the other boys grumbled. "We need to keep our eyes on Susan and John," Barry said. "We'll keep a watch on their house and tail them. Let me tell you how it will go. This will be our first assignment for the summer." The boys followed Barry back into the old wooden shed and huddled around to hear the big boy's plan. There you go. Okay, chapter 3. Okay, one person unzapped him. No ducky. Who's on? Say hello. Good evening. Good evening, Captain. Your grandkids listen to this as we read it. Captain Z. All right, well, I'd say good night.